Things aren't what they used to be. As a 90s kid, I find myself saying this more and more. And better technology isn't always a guarantee of better products. People pissed off at Disney's live action remakes would vouch for the truth in that statement. But is it true for gaming as well? Hey, this is Vakanoid, and today we'll look at Medal of Honor Allied Assault, Call of Duty World at War, and Call of Duty World War II. Three games, all World War II first-person shooters, which I played at three different points in my life: school, college, and after getting a job, and try to figure out how gaming industry have changed over this course of time, and if better graphics and 50 GB game sizes actually means better games. World War II has always been a staple of first-person shooters, but why is this setting so popular with the developers? Well, first of all, clearly defined good and bad guys. Then, modern or modernish guns, tanks or aircrafts available in that era, plus the freedom to set the levels anywhere from mountains of Europe to the plains of Asia, from French countryside to the ruins of Berlin. And you can have any sort of gameplay, from guns blazing action to stealthy covert operations and espionage stuff. But most important factor of the all is World War II conflict is important enough that everyone knows about it, and old enough so that creative liberties could be taken without offending someone. So let us begin. Medal of Honor Allied Assault. The year was 2004 and I was in school and was desperately waiting for Half-Life 2. Till that point of time, the only first-person shooters I had played were Doom and Half-Life 1. Both are now considered as genre-defining games, but they weren't realistic. I mean, they came under sci-fi shooters. Then a friend of mine told me about this game, Medal of Honor Allied Assault, which was an FPS based on World War II times and had scenes and settings from Saving Private Ryan. I couldn't believe it. That very evening I went to my local pirated video game shop and got the game, and it still is the best World War II game I have ever played. I did play Call of Duty 2 about a year later, but Medal of Honor has a special place in my heart. Why is that? Firstly, the mission structure and pacing of the game is brilliant. It's been nearly 15 years since I played the game, but I can still recall some parts of the game in great detail. The Omaha Beach assault, destroying the German U-boat, defending the bridge, and escaping from an exploding bunker are the parts I remember quite vividly. The way you got medals in the game was interesting too. In one mission you had the option to save the sniper which was being held up by the Nazis. In another you could escort the tank crew without any deaths. And the game didn't tell you this outright. You had to figure it out for yourself, thus rewarding attentive players. Call of Duty World at War. The year was 2009 and I was in college. By this time I've had some experience with first-person shooters. After playing Modern Warfare and Far Cry 2, I was craving some old school World War II action. I came to know that a senior of mine had the new World War II game in Call of Duty series. I rushed to his hostel and got the game. The campaign was pretty small this time, but I liked the game a lot. The mission structure was good, and the influences from old Call of Duty missions like the Charge of Berlin and the scenes inspired from the movie Enemy at the Gates were excellent. And it was the first game that showed the Japanese side of the conflict as well. The cinematic set pieces were brilliant, the death of Reznov was impactful, and overall it felt like the next chapter of games which combined realistic graphics, great enemy AI, and the blood and grit of World War II conflict to give us an incredible game. Call of Duty World War II. The year was 2018 and I hadn't played any Call of Duty since Black Ops, and the news of a new World War II game came as a pleasant surprise. I never played Call of Duty for its multiplayer mode. I enjoyed playing its campaign. But times have changed now, and the campaign of World War II was mediocre at best. The cinematic set pieces were uninspiring, the characters were unrelatable, and it played more like a Wolfenstein game rather than a boots on the ground World War II game. I can still remember parts of Call of Duty 1 and 2 and World at War which I played almost a decade ago, but nothing positive comes to mind when talking about this game. The game publishers are now much more focused on fleecing money from their customers, and microtransactions in online multiplayer is a big source of their income. So why try and make an interesting single player campaign when you can add the feature to open loot boxes on the beaches of Normandy? Is it too much to ask for a decent campaign from a 4000 rupee game? Because I don't want to go online, join a random match and get cursed at by a 13-year-old who's definitely better than me at the game. I just want to sit in my living room, order a pizza, open a cold beer and shoot some Nazis. Is it too much to ask?